All right, bless my friend's heart. Here we are at part 3B. Well, almost done. All right, so we're talking about the different layers of the mountains where as you go up, it gets cooler, you can get crops. By the time you're up at the halata layer, that's like the tundra, that's great grazing land for sheep and goats and things like this that go on. Key thing to remember about highland climates though, even though we talk about there being these multiple climates that are found in one spot of a mountain, whether or not you have seasons, even though you might be having a microthermal style temperatures, if the mountain is located within the tropics where you don't have seasons, you don't have cold winter temperatures, you're not going to be cycling through any seasons on the mountain range. The cold area is just going to stay cold at the same temps, steady, just like the warm temps down at the base are going to be. If your mountains are in, say, the Alps that are in Europe, of course, you're not in a tropical zone at all. So the base of the mountain is never going to be tropical. It's going to be of course, most of these, some of the, are going to be like the marine west coast or possibly Mediterranean, or the, most of it's marine west coast that it's going to fall into. And of course, because you are going to have seasons in these mesothermal climates, you're going to have seasons on the mountain. In the wintertime, the entire mountain's going to have snow and be frozen on it. I mean, it's only in the summer, then it's going to warm up. Just the higher reaches are not going to be as warm as the area at the base, which again is still not going to be tropical if you're talking about being somewhere in Europe. So the mountains are going to follow the regular seasonal or no seasonal changes of whatever latitude that they are located on. So I want to make sure that is clear. Now, even on mountains themselves, depending on which side you're on, can vary. So there are some controls to highland climates we have right here. Of course, the first is going to be elevation. All right, how high it goes. If you're 5 miles above sea level there in the Himalayas, you're going to have an ice cap. If you're only going up to where, you're more in the tundra levels, okay, averages, like around 40 degrees or something like this. So elevation is going to control. Another one in here is called exposure. This is talking about wind, all right? We know wind can make things feel colder than they are. It can, whisk away any warmth that goes on. It can cause evaporation, which makes things feel colder as well, all right? So if you're on the windward side of a mountain versus the leeward side of the mountain, that's going to have an effect of the local weather. So it might be, colder and snowier on a windward side than it would on the leeward side of the same mountain. And also you have slope aspect. This is referring to which direction you're facing and what type of sun exposure are you getting. We know here in the northern hemisphere that especially at noon, the hottest part of the day, the sun's going to be in the southern half of the sky. So if you're on the northern slope of a mountain, you may not get any, direct sun at all, so things are going to be colder. If you're on the south slope, it's going to be warmer. So just walking around the mountain, your temperatures and climates can actually change. So that's the whole key to highland climates. It is just a catch-all term for a whole bunch of little itty-bitty microclimates that you find that go on. All right, so that's the key thing to remember. So only seasons in mountains if you have seasons at the base, and the base is going to be dependent upon what latitude and elevation that it is on. So that is it. Hopefully no more phone interruptions that went on. This will be it. This is the end. Good luck. I think you guys will enjoy the lab activity. I was talking about this. It's kind of fun. You're getting a look at these. And again, look all these things up online, okay? Google them. Look at pictures of all these temperature regimes and the climate regimes so you can see them. See what they look like. You're going to recognize most of these. You've seen examples of all of this type of thing between all the TV and movies you've seen and pictures and in magazines and ads and stuff like this. You've seen examples of almost all of these. Once you see them, you'll recognize them. You'll probably even recognize a lot of the plants. You might not just recognize the terms I gave you. So that's what you want to do, is match up the term with, oh yeah, I know what that means. I see what that looks like now. So it's pretty easy. A lot of this is just strictly common sense. Warmer at the equator, and it gets colder as you go. Okay, so good luck.